You know what you don't want because you like, but if you knew what you did want, you almost eliminate the don't want thing. It's because you're aiming. I'm not even seeing the BS on the ground no more.
You see the BS,
Right.
but it's BS. We already know what it is. I don't
Right.
have that. I don't have to like, okay, just stay in it. Like I just know it's actually a part of life. Good day, 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 good day.
Yes,
This
sir.
is Trey D. Welcome to another episode of As Man Readeth with my homeboy.
Goolsby.
Let's get it started. We are still going through this book here, 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. If you missed the first episode of this, you probably want to go back and check it.
Go ahead.
We couldn't make it through the whole book. We're gonna take it slow.
Right.
And we're gonna go through chapters 3 and 4 today, man.
Yeah. Just so y'all know, we're at a different location, and we be making things happen. I just want y'all to know where
We're doing this for you.
right.
We're doing this for you.
Let's get down to it. Rule number 3.
Yep.
Make friends with those who want the best for you.
Yeah.
Man. First of all, when you hear that in general, since we're talking about 12 rules for life, is that a good rule?
Yes, it is a rule that I try to practice. I think if you're in a good space, okay, let's do it that way.
Okay.
There it is.
All right.
One, I think you're in a great space if you can say that you only know. 2, we know that the quality of our relationships greatly determines the quality of our lives. So the relationships that we have, we can look at the type of social capital we have, the friendships that we have, the loving, the more intimate relationships that we've had and have, the mentors, whomever it is. We can look at all those types of relationships. If they are quality relationships, it is a good line to see that you have a quality life.
I was just thinking about my friends. I was like, wait, am I in a good space? I'm with you. So that's cool.
That's cool. But I think one of the things we got to think about, right, is like, we associate in certain ways. And then what they say, the 7 people that you hang around the most, you become, right?
Right.
So somebody, what mentor is like, if you got 6 broke friends, guess who's 7? If you got you got 6 or 5, that are doing kind of nefarious things, guess who's gonna be next, or who gonna get you caught up into something?
Man.
So you don't want to be the dude in the car like, hey, let me out.
Right. No, it's
let
too
me
late.
out. Nah, let me out. You don't want to be that cat.
Yeah.
It's gonna change. You gotta make intentional decisions about who you want in your life. That's all. So I think it's a great rule.
Yeah, man. And I think it's also, I was going to also ask, do you think it's properly placed in the 12 rules that he has? Because the first rule, right, is stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Yep.
So there's no thinking involved in that. To me, what I mean by that is, it's like, well, I don't know what to do. So you know how to stand up straight. You know how to put them shoulders back. Start there. Boom, right? And that's dealing with a structure. That's dealing with positioning. Let's get the proper structure first. Then the second one is treat yourself like, oh boy, I don't want to
treat yourself like someone you're responsible for.
Yes.
Yeah. Treat
Treat yourself like you like someone you're responsible for helping.
Yeah.
Now is, again, it's just be kind. It's and you're more likely to be kind to someone else before you are to yourself.
That's what he's saying. Yep.
Right. So again, that's something internal that's something that you do, that you're working on.
Yep.
And then the third one is like, okay, I think you might have it together. So now, if you're gonna make friends, make them with those who want good for you.
Yep.
And it's kind of like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Like I see the progression.
Right. That's what I see. I see, so one, kind of looking at, because there's a line in here, he's like, you may be a loser.
Right.
But you don't have to be, basically.
Right.
And so you start off with that. Okay, now you're no longer a loser. The only way the way to get out of that loser mode, so to speak, is treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping.
Right.
Then from there, the more that you can support yourself, again, even connecting the two, he says you're going to end up attracting, and people are going to respond to you in a different way once you roll those shoulders back and you are standing up straight.
Right.
When you show yourself to be who you really want to be, that shows up. So now you're taking care of that person. And now you can attract and have friends, or you can start to sift out the friends that do not have your best interests. Right. So I think that's where I think it is good placement.
Yeah, he said, man, he had like a whole bunch of dimes he was dropping.
Yeah.
What's the one that I wanted to say? Not everyone who is failing is a victim. This is page 76.
Yeah.
And not everyone at the bottom wishes to rise. You know, it's almost like there's this put on responsibility that you need to go back.
Yeah.
And grab these people.
Yeah.
And bring them up. Everybody don't want that. What Jordan is really good at doing is having these he poses these questions or these insights. Just like what I just said. Not everyone who is failing is a victim, and not everyone at the bottom wishes to rise. You can't black and white this thing. So it's almost like on an individual basis.
Yeah.
Who you deal with characteristically. Because even he says it is not easy to distinguish between someone truly wanting and needing help and someone who is merely exploiting a willing helper. What?
I think that's good, man. That's really good.
How do you distinguish? You know,
Yeah.
How do you discern between someone who needs the help, really, and someone who's like, oh, I know you're going to help me, so.
Taking advantage of it.
Boom.
Well, I think this is why Rule 2 is so important. Right? You gotta look at, you just start thinking about it like, oh, that's why Rule 2 is so important. Before we start to look at the friends, because we know, because we are in relationship with our friends, we're going to help them in some particular way. They're going to help us in some particular way.
Right.
But if you are not cognizant of your own codependence, then you just gonna, they just gonna pull, they're gonna pull and drain everything they can.
You can even be cognizant of it.
You can.
That's something else I'm realizing.
That's good. But don't have a practice to mitigate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I find that to be challenging sometimes. I already told you my situation.
Yeah.
Well, with some friends of mine where
Yep.
basically we're supposed to meet at a particular location.
Yep.
At a particular time.
Yep.
The backstory is that it was a last minute change type thing. And when I say last minute, it was within 12 hours. We were supposed to meet up the next day at a particular time, all of us.
Yep.
Right? But I realized I couldn't meet at that time.
Yep.
So can we change it? Everybody said at the end of the day, yes, we can change it. Thank you. Boom. So we're supposed to meet at a particular time. Let's say it's 6:00. I'm there. Nobody else there.
Yep.
No text. No, hey, hey man, I'm gonna be late. Hey, I got this, I got that. And I'm like, ain't nobody gonna say nothing to me? Look, I take responsibility. I'll take accountability.
I feel that. You spot on.
Because we did it last minute. But I had things that I have to do.
Yep.
That I have prioritized. I prioritized this meeting over other things. But once no one else was there and there was no contact, I'm like, oh, okay. I have to now. Would I do that? No, I wouldn't do that. So there may be circumstances to prevent folks from calling, but it was a lot of us. So I kind of felt like the butt of a joke or something. Like I didn't know what was happening, but at the same time, I was looking at the situation different, I think. Yeah.
That's good, man. I think again, we look at going back to it as well. I mean, he talks about with this idea of like this, everyone is, there it is. So we know that everyone's given their own and I think it's really important for us to understand that people are always operating in their present understanding, their present patterns and present values.
Value.
right?
Value.
I think that's what's happening. And we forget them because we want them to also operate and align with our present values.
Yes.
And priorities. So and that's where all the expectation mishaps happen too.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's given their own measure. Everyone's moving in their space, in their own world. And sometimes we align, sometimes we don't.
Yeah, because it's easy to blame, right? It's easy to get into that frequency, going back to letting go.
Why didn't you? Well, why didn't you? But you know you could have. I know I could have. But you could have.
Right.
And then you like.
So right. So now at the end of that, still love, nothing to get against them. In the moment, I was upset.
Yeah.
Because I had to figure out why I was upset. Mm-hmm. But it was the time that I had valued. And so during that whole time, so we were supposed to meet at 6. The person's house we were meeting at, I called them. They was like, oh man, I had to, pick up my boy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Couldn't let me know, but cool. I'm cool with it. Yep. Another guy came. And long story short is that I was communicating the whole time. I was just being the example of what I wanted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'm about to leave. Then one of them was like, hey man, we changed the whole thing for you. No, that was for the group, 1. 2 is, ain't nobody here. But I felt guilty. I was like, why? I feel guilty, but I was on time. Yeah. So that's when I really had to take a look at myself and say, why do I feel bad about them not being on time? Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's about them being on time. I think I was more so hurt because it's like, oh man, this is just the reality of it. Mm-hmm. This is just reality. Mm-hmm. I value this in this particular way. We're not aligned. Mm-hmm. That's good to know. Mm-hmm. So, you have all these conflicting feelings going. Like I feel guilty, but I don't have to. So what's the thinking? Yeah. And then there has to be no bad blood because we just on 2 different pages. Right. And that's okay.
And so but how many folks can actually go into that place of maturity and say, oh, okay. So, it's kind of like, no, I think having the expectation that people are going to operate from their point of view, mm-hmm. perspective, is a reality that I don't think a lot of folks really want to hold on to. Mm-hmm. Because they're like, well, why can't they see it my way? Or here's stuff I get in the practice, like, how can I get him, or how can I get her to do what I want and see it my way, or do it the way I want them to do it? Right. Okay. Or mm-hmm. I really don't have, and it's kind of like, well, we don't have any control over what other people do. My job is to talk to you. What can you do in these situations? Because you forget your own autonomy, your own agency, your sovereignty. And you're like, they are doing this. What he say? He say, not everybody that's failing is a victim. Right. Right. And not everyone at the bottom wishes to rise. Exactly. So now it's like everything is happening to me. Nah, you can make some choices. And sometimes you're choosing to sometimes allow people to just be who they are. And then you make your decision of how you are going to approach or connect and actually and converse with them moving forward. And what type of relationship you're going to have with them later. Right. Can you be who you are and they be who they are? Right. And it be okay. Yeah. And so that's why I love this situation, because it was so indicative of the relationship. Mm-hmm. I'm leaving. Now, I was going to stay, right? They didn't start till 8:30. Tremont, mm-hmm. 8:30. I was there at 6. Hey man, listen. There's more to the story, but what I'm saying is my energy would have been all the way flubbed. Oh yeah, listen. It would have been 9:30 is the new midnight in certain places. 9:30. Right. So I wanted to meet. We over 40. 9. Hey, we start at 8:30. They ended around 1, and I was like, no. First of all, it's a couple hours. Second of all, you're way down here, and I wanted them to come way where I was. Yeah. And that was, I think, also subconscious too, because it was a thing where I was like, I know this. See, I think I already knew. So you can come to me because I'll be home.
I need to go to bed when it's time.
Yeah.
And if you're late, it don't matter because I'm here.
Yeah.
I think I knew it subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate them for this situation. And it may seem, again, it could look a particular way, viewing it from a particular lens.
Mm-hmm.
If I've been engaged like this for a certain amount of time, now I'm not as engaged, it's because now my values have shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's like when
they supposed to shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when folks get ghosted. They get upset about being ghosted. It's like, no, you shouldn't. That's a sign.
Yeah.
That is a sign.
Yeah.
Where your mind going? I felt
I think ghosting is still it's a way of
it is deflection.
Yeah. So hey, listen. So one of the things is kind of like so this is a personal thing. This is not in the books.
Okay.
So I'm like, give people a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But so like, kind of like if you break up with somebody, don't just break up with it. You got to tell them what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because the problem is, you don't tell them what the heck and hell's been going on.
Right.
They gonna think, oh, they tripping. But if they start to hear the same thing at every breakup, something should click.
You would think it would.
It should. That's what I said.
Okay, yeah.
So here's the challenge with this is that sometimes people don't tell, help people.
Yeah. But
help people. And you, at least you can do, one of the things you can do, you can use your voice. Now, whether they accept it.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
And do anything with it.
Right.
That ain't your point. That ain't your place.
Right.
Right? So we think about it I think about it like the preacher is going to just preach.
Yeah, that's what the preacher's supposed to.
It's still, where it lays, you just sowing the seed. Like, hey, listen, I think this is something that I noticed. I don't think our relationship is going to be, see how you drop the voice.
Right.
Yeah, come in there.
Yeah.
I don't think our relationship is going to last any longer, but I just wanted to say these are things that challenge me. Like
I don't think they hear past that, but I hear you though.
I had a brother tell this girl, and he just said, "Listen, I'm just no longer pursuing marriage." I said, "Man, that was cold."
It is.
He
cold.
said, "But it's straightforward."
Yeah, right.
I said, "You said it like that?" He's like, "Yeah, man." I said, "Just like that." What did she say? "Oh man, it was hot." Like it's just
it was.
But it was clear. And then he told the reasons why and all that good stuff.
Right. So, yeah, man. I think
disqualified.
It's
I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, because sometimes you can't. Sometimes people are where they are, and sometimes when you give them information on where they are, they don't hear it. They just don't, and you end up going back and forth, expending energy you don't need to expend. And sometimes actions just illustrate what it may be.
Why question about it? Why you say expend energy you don't need to expend?
Because I could be focused on doing an audition. I could be focused on writing. Gotcha. I could be making, as a man, I could be posting. Yep. But I'm sitting here going back and forth with you saying, why we changed the time.
Oh, yeah, we don't need to do that. Yeah, I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm the youngest out of the whole, I'm the baby. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was a big bro to little bro move, but that's not the move I would do to my little bro.
You get paid, sir, by your own crew.
Have you ever known me to be hazed? First, well, anyway, let me see, because now that sound away. That's out of the way. But I'm saying I'm kind of anyway, I don't even moving on, right. So you want to make good friends.
Yes.
You want to make friends with people who want the best for you.
Yeah.
And so he starts this chapter off talking about, again, because we'll stay on it for oh man.
Whew. You got time? Because I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And so in our conversation too, we start thinking about, rule number 4, if I jump in, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today.
Okay, right?
That's the alley, right there.
That was the alley. Yeah. It's who was I yesterday? I would have been complaining and saying, y'all need to do this. You should be like this. Why y'all treat me like this? I should be this and that. But no. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, because that's where you are today. I can't compare myself to that. But I can go back to okay, let me say that again. I would have been complaining. Now, instead, it's like, my time is more important over here. So I'll be focused on this.
And the other side of this is when he talks through the, he starts the conversation in this chapter.
Yes.
And it's just like, I think what he also kind of frames is like how the ego is working in this space, and how you can get distracted by everything else and everyone else.
Right.
That is totally, again, we just said everybody's in their own journey.
Yes.
And their own experiences.
Yep.
And we're like, we start going in and want to compare ourselves to other people that are literally on their own journey.
Right.
And we're like, oh man, I wish. But you don't necessarily want to be in their shoes.
Right.
Because you don't know the whole story of the journey. So I think this is a good chapter to kind of, again, I think it's also in sequence.
Right.
I think it's in sequence. Like now at this point, now that you've made good friends, you're treating yourself the proper way, you're standing up properly.
Right.
At this point, it's now like, okay, make sure that you have the right view of yourself as yourself, so to speak.
Right. In order to grow.
Yeah.
Because these good friends you've made may not have the same vision you have, and that's fine. Don't compare yourself to them.
Yep.
Because, they're making millions or whatever like he makes an illustration about, you might, you have a Hollywood celebrity star who's an alcoholic and is a bigot making millions, and but you have a great family life. Would you want to switch your life with theirs? And probably you wouldn't. But we compare ourselves to these people that we see and say, man, I wish, I remember I wanted to be Zach Morris for years. Literally from 8 to 12, I just knew I was going to be Zach Morris. And it hit me. I was like, Mama, I'm never going to be white. And she was like, no, baby. Well, nowadays, you can probably be white. But what I'm saying is, I'm not a white dude. That's what I'm saying.
You from East Side, not from Bay Side.
Exactly.
There it is.
But that took a second to click for me.
Yeah.
But he says, the thing you have to do is pay attention. And this is what has been a week for me. Focus on what is going on around you physically and psychologically. Ask yourself 3 questions. What's bothering me? Is it something I can fix? Would I actually be willing to fix it? Start there. Start there.
That's a powerful inquiry as well, because it basically what he's also getting us to do. I didn't know that he was a mindfulness coach as well. But that's definitely what he's doing. He's getting folks to slow down, like slow it down. Take yourself through the inquiry. But then he also says, right, what's the third question again?
Would I actually be willing to fix it? You got to be willing. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, I think that's one of those things for me. It's like what's bothering me? Well, I'm getting tired of wasting my time. Well, could you fix that?
Yep.
Yeah. Are you willing to? Yes. I mean, now I'm like, yes. But it takes a minute. Yeah. Now, I got to tell you, man, we said we was going to meet at this. I know I'm still on that story, but what I'm saying is there's so many lessons in it. Because I was mad. I was like, but you ain't did nothing wrong. Yeah. Why are you even in right or wrong? They're not here at the particular time. You can go home. Yeah, but not even. Well, bro, can you fix this? Go home and do the work that you could be doing, since you said, and I did. Because I had to think, what is really bothering me? What is it that's really bothering me? And it goes back to the value. Meaning, he was like, meaning has value.
Yep.
You can't have something that you can't have value without meaning.
Absolutely.
It has to mean something.
Yeah. Can't have value without meaning. Absolutely.
And so you have to figure out, well, what does this mean? Yep. I think that's what was really happening. What does this really mean? Old school thought was, it's on them.
Right.
It's your fault. I don't want to be in that frequency of fault and blame and guilt and all that. But it's realizing like, wait, why am I here? Logically speaking, we're supposed to meet at a particular time. We did not meet. I know we're supposed to meet at a particular time. Yeah. We did not meet. logically speaking, that's fine. That's fine. Now, yeah, you drove out of your way to do it, but how many times do you have to learn that lesson? And I think for me, that probably was my third time. I think that was, like I told you, in my mind, maybe this has occurred before. Something in me was like, and I was like, did I create this? Did I create it? Nope. I just put it back on me, man.
So I think, yeah, and that's a good way to look at it. And I think the other part is when we talked about the human experiential model, we talked about that before.
Okay.
So like situations are typically neutral. In fact, I'm going to say something bold. Situations are neutral.
Okay. Well, that's because I don't. Right, I'm with you.
Stay with me.
Yeah, because I was about to go somewhere else, but I'm with you.
But you just talked about meaning. Situation is neutral until we give it meaning.
Right.
Then the meaning tells us the emotion.
Right.
The emotion tells us the behavior or the action that we need to take, and the thoughts that we should have about it. So whatever meaning we assign to the situation you were having, or the situations that I've had, like that told me everything I needed to do in an instant.
It does.
But you can also go back, if that is the case, then you can redefine what the heck is going on. Oh, okay. I just got to learn a little bit. I got to, did you go get some coffee or something while you were there? When you came downtown?
To that situation?
Yeah.
No, I went to a particular place. It was like 14 young folks, brothers outside this restaurant, and they was wrestling. Take my ass home. Okay. It's late. Already it's late for me. It was 7.
Yeah. Now you know not to go to that place no more. Like it's sometimes, and I think it's a really powerful tool to figure out how you can redefine, because we're doing it all the time. But you get to lift up and even change the meaning of certain situations that can actually change the way you think about it and how you feel about it and what you do about it. Get it? So, man, that just brought me back to you're going to be ever powerful if you learn and are able to think the way you want to think.
Yes. And that's what it is too. Because I was like, there's nothing, because it's that fear that kind of seeps in, which again is why you track yourself. You're not tracking what other people are doing.
Boom. That's it. The problem is, this is where the chaos is. It's like, right. The chaos is, I need everybody else to get right so I can get right. Like, wait, no. You're going to be waiting a long time. How how significant do you think you are if you want everybody else to fold and conform and move for you?
Right.
When there's one of you and there's billions of others. Right. So how about you stay stable,
right,
and interact with anybody you want,
and trailblaze in your way.
Yeah,
you become the best, because that's the thing that I have been doing. It's like getting in groups, and then saying, as this group, we can do this thing, right? And then the things aren't happening, and it's me looking at you because I'm like, I'm doing my part, but you're not doing your part, and it's like, well. So what does that tell me? You got to keep going, and it's okay. I be wanting to be all formal and everything. Well, I need to let these folks know this is why I'm like, I got to let them know nothing. You just keep moving, as long as you're within the fold. Like me, I'm all about credit. I be wanting my credit.
Okay.
And I think there's a pro and con to it.
Okay.
And so it's like I'm stating this thing, and if it's not being heard, that upsets me. Why? Why am I getting upset? Now we're going back to letting go.
Yep.
And
great episode. Y'all need to check those out too. Letting Go by
Dr. David R. Hawkins.
Yes, Hawkins. Yeah.
And so when we do that thing, like when I get upset, because what anger is nothing. The emotion itself is movement. It just wants you to move. You got to continue to move and go.
Yeah.
And we've been aligned in a particular way to where we're keeping this going. And that's been working. But if it didn't, then we're going to continue to
keep going.
Got to keep it moving.
I think sometimes I think also in groups, it's kind of like you have the innovators, then you have like the early adopters, and you got those folks that like jump on right at the end, like, oh man, it's working.
Right.
I'm on board now. I'm on board now. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but like that happens a lot. People don't, and then again, everybody's in their own journey.
Right.
And so what they thought they need to assign, or what they thought they were, what they thought they were, what journey they thought they were jumping into, may have been different from everyone else that's in.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. He was like, man, you need to. What are you aiming at? What are we aiming at? He was like, you can't hit what you're not looking at.
Right.
What you see is kind of what you get. Mm-hmm. And going back to the other rule, if you got a whole bunch of folks who broke around you, and you probably gonna be broke too. It's something that you see. You have to set your sights high.
Yeah.
What's the old saying? Aim for the stars, or at least you'll hit the moon.
Yep.
It's that type of thing. So daily practice. If I make my bed every single day, or first of all, I don't make my bed. Then I start waking up and say, well, I can do that. Start with the things you can do.
Absolutely.
And then you begin to incrementally grow.
Absolutely.
It's just like mobility training.
Absolutely.
Mobility training is when you mobilize yourself. They say, if let's say you've been doing mobility training for 6 months, that actually lasts longer than working out for 6 months. Like they'll say strength training.
Absolutely. That's true.
You have more your range because you've been working that muscle in that particular way now versus just pumping up and then it just depletes.
And then you can't move.
Right.
Right. So no, and I think I think mobility is a better indicator of life vitality.
Yes.
Than just overall strength.
It is. It is.
So that's something.
It's because you're incorporating all the tools around you and actually giving like care to it. It's almost rule 2 on it. And when you do these little things, because if you sit down all day, those hip flexors get tight.
All day. Yep.
And you don't do the reverse to untighten them. That's why people in their older age, they're hunched.
Everything is leaning over. Yep. And then getting tighter because you also don't know how to release those pieces as well. You also talked about the, kind of thinking about where you're going. This is something I say a lot. It's a big difference between pushing away from pain and pursuing what is pleasurable and pleasant for your life.
Ooh, pushing away from pain or pursuing pleasure. So
when you start thinking about it, a lot of times, and you hear these, like we've been to enough speeches where we hear the story about get it out the mud story. Right. I think you can only tell that story so many times. You're going to tell that story so many times, and unless you're full in it, because what can happen is that you can continue to embody. You're not in the mud no more. You're not in the mud anymore. You need to figure that's not your story no more. It's a part of it. Right. But you're in a totally different chapter. Okay. So you think about Kevin Hart can't come back. I was thinking about how Kevin Hart's comedy has changed. Laugh at My Pain. You start watching Little Big Man, whatever he used to do. All those always talking about like something going on. He can't talk about the same things as he did when he was young. Right. When he was a dropout at community college and all that good stuff. He can't. It don't matter anymore. It don't. But one of the things, if you start to hear when people do those things, like it's a good story, but you may get trapped in, I didn't have it all. And if you are attracted to that and that's your motivation, right? You're just pushing away from the pain. Right. Pain is the fuel. Right. If pain is the fuel, you need pain to continue that story. Continue your story. Yep. So you may find things. This is where addictions and stuff come in. Right. So you may find you may regress. Right. Pull in things that pull in people that remind you of the old. Right. That comfort. Yep. Right. And All that being, you're looking in the rearview mirror. You're not what Jordan's talking about. Looking where you are going.
Right. Aim high.
Aiming high. Focusing on what you want, not what you don't want.
And when you do focus on what you don't want, that gives you that puts you in the direction to start looking at what you want.
Yeah, it can.
So you're always learning.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, getting yourself into a place where you know what you don't want, then like flipping the other sides of the paper and just write. Actually, good activity.
Right.
Write that stuff down. If you can't figure out what you do want,
right.
Write the stuff down that you do want. Then flip the side of the paper and just write the opposite of those particular things.
You mean that you don't want and then flip it and whatever you do?
If you can't figure out what you do want, but you know you can figure out what you don't want. Okay, write it. Flip the paper. Literally write the opposite. That'll probably give you a much more clarity, because a lot of times when we're working, it's like people will tell me what they don't want before they can tell me what they do want.
Right.
I just don't want this to happen anymore.
Right.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you what you want. What's the outcome you want?
Right.
The negating of something is not necessarily the. All right. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm
right. But
we're almost at time. I'm gonna keep it quiet.
Yeah, but that's how that works though.
Yeah.
That's how that works. That whole thing of that, because that's also showing you in the way in which your mindset is set up. You know what you don't want because you but if you knew what you did want, you almost eliminate the don't want thing. It's because you're aiming. I'm not even seeing the BS on the ground no more. I'm up here.
Yep.
And that's what I was saying also about that energy.
You see the BS,
right?
But it's on page 99. Life doesn't have a problem. You do. At least the realization leaves you with some options. If your life is not going well, perhaps it is your current knowledge that is insufficient, not life itself.
I love that he just puts it on you.
Yeah.
Stop talking about don't do what Adam did. Hey, why you hiding, Adam? Is that woman you made me? Yeah. Like, I'm not taking no responsibility.
Every good therapist should be like, hey, what can you do? If your therapist is not empowering you,
right,
you're in a whole different problem.
You know what I wanted to say?
Yeah.
I don't know do we have the time?
Yeah,
I'm gonna run it real.
We got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes,
right.
Real quick. But I wanted to talk about the Old Testament. He brings in Old Testament versus New Testament.
He does.
And he talks about how some people are like, man, that old guy cannot be the new God. But he's taking it from a mindset standpoint where how tyrannical you being that old God where you're very judging and jealous and all these types of things. When you're that way to yourself, how's that working out for you? How's that working out? In the New Testament, God is more benevolent, more of that good father, more of that, it's going to be all right, it's going to be okay, I love you. Use that logic to your life so that you can just give yourself some grace. Yeah, you didn't write the thing you wanted to write, but did you think about writing it? Cool, you thought about it today. Maybe tomorrow you pick up a pen and paper and just put it on the table.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Maybe the next day you just write your name on it. Cool.
Maybe you do put your dry cleaning clothes in the trunk of the car.
Right.
You that bag that goes to Goodwill, at least you put it in the trunk.
Right.
I know it's gonna be in there for a month, but you need to make sure it's not in front of the door anymore. It's the next step. Yeah.
And that's why you treat you compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today.
That's just like me. And like you know, pat yourself on the back when you make progress.
Got to.
All the time, man.
Man, it's been fun.
Been a good episode. Good episode. Again, this is Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. We are in chapter, I guess, 5 and 6.
5.
So this is the second episode for this particular book. I hope you are reading along with us. As we close out, as always, it's Trey D.
And Goolsby.
I like to say, keep reading, and he likes to say,
read the book.
Y'all be well and be brave. Be brave.
Peace.